What a beast. I believe that's going to be my biggest morel that I've ever found. What is going on, guys? We are getting to be late morel season in Missouri. We're still in April, but we're in the very end of April here. This will probably be my last trip of the 2025 season as it's getting late. Turkey season started, so I want to kind of transfer over to that, but look at that big guy right there that I just found. What a giant. It's that time of the year where they've had time to grow and just get absolutely massive. So as a result of that, here you go. I've been out here for probably 45 minutes or so walking, and finally had a good find here. So stick around and let's see what we can piece together here together. Guys, I say it in all my videos, but I love this time of season. I just found the first official patch of the day, late season patch. Extremely fresh. Look at the size of these dudes. They're big and old, not old, but they're big and aged, matured, but they are just fresh. I got that one. I marked another one over here. Likely to be more that I haven't seen yet. But just, I mean, look at the size of these big beauties. Just big, beautiful, fresh giants. Finding a few of these is like finding a dozen of the early season morels. Same kind of morels, they've just had time to grow and age. Here's number 3 of that patch, guys. I was picking that one and looking around, and I saw this one sitting over here. So that makes 3 on the patch and 4 on the day. So what a find. Big, big, giant ones, and just fresh as can be. Guys, I always tell you in my mushroom hunting videos, always walk your patches at different angles. I was getting ready to move on and leave, and I found this guy. He was a little more covered up than this, but I moved some stuff before I started filming. But number 4 on that patch as I was getting ready to leave it. So do circles, go backwards, forward, sideways, look your patches over good before you move on. Still checking this patch over again, number 5 of it that I almost left. So doing circles, doing circles. Beautiful. So I got that last patch picked out, guys, and I'm moving along here. I don't believe this is going to be a patch. I think this is just going to be a single. Oh, there's another one right there. So yep, technically it is a patch. That one is too far gone, so it's going to stay here. But this one, let me get a look and smell at it. It's a little further along than I'd like to see, but I think it's still edible, so I'll take it. Obviously that one there is going to stay though. That one's a little far gone. So I think that's just going to be the 2 right here, but well, actually this one, I changed my mind. I've been smelling this while I've been talking to you, and I'm actually just going to crumble this up. Help those spores along a little more and leave it there. So that just happens sometimes. It's late season, and that's just the way it goes this time of year. So a lot of the ones you find are too far gone, and you just have to leave them in nature to do their thing. All right, guys, I got into another patch, but it's the same story. It's like I said, it's late season, kind of a bummer. Missed these ones probably by a week or so. I can see one more up ahead. I'm sure there's probably more, but those ones just, I'll cover them up with leaves. So if there's anyone else that walks through, hopefully they don't find my spot here. And let the earth have them. I'll walk you up to this next one I see. Late season can be tough just for that reason. It's really unfortunate. This would have been a real nice one probably a week ago. What can you do? I see another real big one over there. Nothing fresh that I can tell yet. We'll cover this guy up. You never know, there might be a freshie in this patch that came up later than the rest. Work these old patches just like you would any other patch. I don't think they all come up at the exact same time, so maybe there'll be some stragglers that came up in the patch, and they'll be pickable, take homeable. Yep, same story on this big one. This would have been a great one a week ago, week and a half ago, but it is what it is. I see another rotten one up there. Very unfortunate, but happens. All you can do is leave them and move on and keep trying for freshies. I have been finding freshies today, so all hope is not lost. If anything, it's an indicator that nobody's been in this spot this year, Or if they have, they're just absolutely terrible at mushroom hunting. Because they would have picked these if they were here, I would sure think. Rotten, rotten, rotten. No good, no good. Here we go, guys. Just like I was just saying, this is that same rotten patch. Get you in here. I'm not gonna say, whoop, whoop, whoop. This is that same rotten patch. I'm not gonna say that this one's like fresh, but it's edible fresh. This is that same patch. It's got a little spider web on it right there, but this is a salvageable mushroom, so I'm gonna take this one. So like I said, even if you're finding a bunch of rotten ones, keep working it, and you never know what's gonna happen. Another positive thing that we can take from this is now I know that this is an early season spot, and next year I need to not wait so long to check it. So even though it's unfortunate that I don't get to take these home, I have learned that this is an early season fruiting spot. So next season, if I have the ability, I need to be out here a little earlier. All right, guys, I got out of that patch I was in because it was just dead mushroom after dead mushroom, or rotten mushroom after rotten mushroom. So I'm walking through this maple grove here. I absolutely love maple groves, and let me show you why. Look at this big beauty right here. Almost bigger than my hand. I see 2 or 3 others right now, so this will officially be, what is that, the 4th patch of the day that aren't rotten. These are perfect for picking, nice and big, not rotten, fresh, moist. So, oh, there's another one right here, sitting here talking. Oh, right there. So I'm gonna kind of do some walking in circles here and try and get a count on these, and let's pick them. Let's do some walking through here and see what we can round up. I'm gonna start my patch pile right there. I do love the way they look in the late season, how the stems kind of get wrinkly and stuff like that, just from, I guess that's just what they do when they mature, but they are just such cool looking mushrooms later in the season. They are 100% much easier to spot later in the season because they get really big. Like this one here. There's almost no missing this giant. Look at that, guys. What a beauty. Absolute mammoth of a mushroom. There we go. Little blood mushroom for you in the thorns back here. But it's another big beauty. Only mushroom hunters know what it's like to walk for quite some time and then get on them and find a good patch. It's a pretty hard feeling to replace if you like the outdoors like I do. There's 5 so far. Like I said earlier in the video, guys, when you find these big ones, it's like finding, one of them's like finding a dozen of those small little grays. I think the flavor's a little better on the small grays. I just think they taste a little better early season when they're small, but there's definitely nothing wrong with these big mature ones. A couple more over here in this patch. This one got nipped by frost at one point or another in the season. As big as these are, I imagine they're probably a couple weeks old. They've been around a while. Fresh and beautiful as can be right there. I'm so excited that nobody found this spot I've been coming to for some time. I was a little worried about it because I haven't made it to it yet this season. And the longer you leave the mushrooms in the woods in your spots, the more likelihood there is that somebody's going to find them. So I was a little worried that this spot was going to be picked out this season, but fingers crossed. I still got a lot of hiking left to do. So something I want to mention to you guys about this spot I'm in is that it's right next to a creek. You can kind of see the creek over there. But about 6 or 7 years ago, that creek flooded real bad. And this was all underwater. For about 2 seasons after that, maybe 3 seasons, I didn't find a mushroom in here. And now, 6 or 7 years later, they're growing right back in the same spots that they grew back then. So let me know if you know why they're starting to grow back right where they used to, and they didn't for a few years after the flood. I would have thought that the mycelium under the ground was deceased, because of the flood. It was underwater for some time, but maybe the spots where it's growing back is just perfect for mushrooms, or maybe it just took it a few years and it survived the flood. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I'm very curious to know from some people who know more about that than I do. Still working this patch over, guys. You are not gonna believe this thing. It is definitely the big chungus of the day. Let me give you a look at it before I pick it. What an absolute giant. Hopefully the video is doing that justice, but that's definitely the biggie of the year and of the day right there. I got another one that looks a little fresher than this one right here behind me. I'm actually going to try and get a few pictures of this one before I pick it, just because it's such a pretty morel. And in my opinion, that's just classic morel right there. So I'm going to try and do a little photography on this thing and get it picked up. There's that patch, guys. I'm going to call that a picked patch. Here's my phone for reference on their size. So those are some big ones. Some of them were very photogenic, and I got some amazing pictures of, I believe it was this guy right here. But excellent find. I'm going to move on and hopefully find a new patch. And actually, this one's getting a little stanky, so right here where this patch was, sometimes I like to do this with the ones that are getting a little rotten. I'll move that leaf litter back, and I'll just kind of really work that into the dirt, and then cover it back up with leaf litter. I'd like to think that does something for the spores getting introduced back into the ground, but who knows. I suppose there's a reason why hardly anyone can figure out how to grow these things in a controlled environment. Alright guys, I'm still just walking this creek bottom area through here. It's probably been 20 minutes since my last find. I just see the one right now. I'm pretty sure it's just a solo guy, which happens a lot in these bottom areas like this. A lot of times you'll just find one, maybe two. And no patch. This one, let me smell it. Yeah, this one's gonna be too far gone, so I'm gonna do that stomp trick into the dirt like I just showed you guys and call this one a loss, but finding them nonetheless. So I have learned that this spot probably needs to be walked early season. Here we go, everybody. Another patch on the day. Walking along, and another absolute beautiful giant right here. Gotta love it. Absolutely love this time of year. I got at least one more up ahead that I've seen. Nope, two more up ahead. Three more up ahead that I've seen so far. Love it when you start walking and start seeing as you go. These three are all right next to each other. We got one, we got two, and we got three. Numbers 4 and 5 are also really big ones. Here's number 6. It looks like something knocked it off when it was younger and it's completely dehydrated. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna actually take that and try and rehydrate it. I think it's just perfectly mummified to where I can put it in water and watch it grow again. So I'm gonna take that one. No mold on it or anything. Real big one right here. Parts of that might need to be cut off and disposed of, but the bottom around here looks pretty fresh. Oh wow, I see 7 and 8 over here. There's 9. Wow, I love it, guys. I love it when they just keep going, these patches. Beautiful, beautiful. These are just, I mean, just on the cusp of being too far gone. Oh wow. Here's more on the back side of this tree that I didn't see. What a patch. Real good one here. Like I said, parts of it might have to be disposed of, but a lot of it's good to eat. Another good one here that's 100% fresh enough to eat, every bit of it. Beautiful. Another one here. Good one. All right, let's make our way back over here. Good one there. Really pretty one there. Awesome. I'm gonna leave the camera on. Oh, there we go, for that reason. There we go over there too. Right here. Look at this, guys. This one looks like it came up way later than the rest, and it's quite a bit fresher. Either that or it's just been in a cooler area, so it hasn't matured as quickly. But either way, another good one for that pile. Where'd you go? There you are. That is a big chubby feller. Like I said, these are just on the cusp of being too far gone to eat, but not there yet. So glad that I found them when I did. But look at that pile we're getting. All right, no guarantees, but I believe that is a picked patch. I'm gonna add it to the already beautifully full mushroom sack and continue on. So let's get a count on this patch real quick. 1, 2, look at the size of that. 2, 16, 17 out of that patch, guys. That is awesome. So there's a couple, as I was counting them, I was looking at them again, like this one. This one's gonna stay behind. That's okay. I got plenty on the day so far. If I don't find another one, it's already a win. So this one's gonna stay behind and go into the dirt. This one, I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit, part of it off, and leave that behind in the dirt. So the rest of that looks pretty fresh. Moving on to the next patch, hopefully. We'll see what happens here. If you guys want to see what happens, stick around. Still walking this real thick bottoms area, guys. Kind of show you what it looks like here. That last find of the 17 or whatever I said it was probably 20 minutes ago. Walking through here. Just the one, I think, which is pretty typical in these river bottom areas. This one's going to be a good candidate to give back to the earth, but awesome find all the same, and kind of the indicator that I'm on the right track through here. Guys, I cannot believe this thing that I just found. This could possibly be my personal record Morel as far as size goes. It's super fresh too, and just yellow and beautiful. This thing is huge. Look at the size of that guy. It's kind of covered up in some leaves and stuff, so I can't get a great look at it right now, but it's really big. Guys, I cannot even believe this thing. I'm sure, as always, the camera does not do it justice, but what a monster. You guys know that I usually break them or cut them at the stem, so I leave the base in, but due to the size of this one, I wanted to see the whole thing. And there it is. What a beast. I believe that's going to be my biggest Morel that I've ever found. Pretty excited about this, and just look how fresh it is. I mean, it doesn't have any discoloration. It's extremely moist. Just a beautiful find. Still hunting this bottom area, guys, around where I just found Big Daddy. We might be on something here. They're super fresh and not looking quite as late season as they have in some of the other spots I've been in. Look at this guy here. Look at that. Big beauty. I'm not sure what exactly is going on here, but either way, I'll happily take it. Looks like a turkey might have pecked at it and tried to eat some of it or something. Guys, it'll never cease to amaze me where these things grow. I'm still walking the bottom area, and all kinds of thick thorns and just nasty brush through here. This one's too far gone, unfortunately, but it's a nice big one all the same. A few days ago probably would have been right, but not today. All right, guys, I made a bit of a move to a different area of the area that I'm at, and I'm walking more of like a hardwoods type area now on a creek bottom. Still on a creek bottom, but different kind of trees, not as many saplings and stuff. Looks like something stepped on that one. Got one there. But back here, look at that guy. That is a pretty mushroom for late season. Same patch here. Look at this, guys. Another absolute monster on the day. Look at that guy. Just a beast. Quite a ways off from those last two I had, but here we go. That one's a little far gone, but I just wanted to show it to you guys. Still walking more of a hardwood setting now than I was earlier, and still finding mushrooms. So, well guys, it's been a long day and a lot of walking, but the day of giants continues here. I'm in some real thick stuff. Look at that. Definitely one for the bag. Guys, I'm going to take a second here to show you this. I haven't really talked about this tactic yet on the channel. I'm in a cedar grove here. I love looking for morels in cedar groves because you can get down low and see for a long ways. And let's see if you can see what I'm seeing here just scanning around in this cedar grove. It's pretty beautiful. Alright, so here's what I found so far. Just bare dirt pretty much. This one's knocked over. Something happened to it, something kicked it. That's a good fresh one. This one's too far gone. That little guy's too far gone. I got this guy over here. Something kicked him over too. That's alright though, he's still looking good. And then back here, we got this beautiful 4-pack on the back side of this cedar. This really big guy right here. Get rid of some of that stem. Big giant mushrooms. This one's dried out and knocked over. Yeah, it's got some mold on it. I like to keep these dehydrated ones and rehydrate them, but that one's got a little mold on it, so we're gonna leave that where it lays. Right here. And right here. Let me get some sun on that so you guys can see the color. Good part about cedar groves is it's super easy to look around in them because there's no vegetation really on the ground, so you can hunt them really fast. And I've found so many morels in these things, so just a tip for you guys and a find. All right guys, so this is kind of a cool change of pace. I got my first chicken of the woods of the year. Pretty cool find. I will take that. I'm actually going to harvest this one. So what you do to harvest these is just take your knife and cut them. You cut the stem as close as you want. I don't always take them all. Sometimes they're way bigger than this. Here's my hand compared to this. Is a pretty small one, but sometimes they can be upwards of 20-25 pounds or bigger. So sometimes I just take a piece, whatever I need. I'll probably take this whole one just because it's not a very big one, but I just wanted to show this to you guys. We actually have 2 varieties of chicken of the woods in Missouri where I live, and probably in most of the United States, I would think, but don't quote me on that. So yeah, I'm gonna get this thing harvested and I'll give you a look at it. I got part of it cut off. I'll show you guys how I do the second part here. Just cut it at the stem there and leave that there. I imagine some more will probably grow off of that. It looks like it's a pretty young one. The 2 varieties in Missouri that we have, one of them has a white bottom and the other one has a yellow or orange-ish bottom like this. I would have to look at my book to be able to tell you guys which one's which. I just can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll go ahead and add it as a title right now. And that's what this is. So pretty cool. This is going in the bag and going home. Let me know if you want to see how to cook this in the comments. All right, everybody, that was a long day, a lot of hiking. I got home, I got these counted up. I have 37 that survived the trip, so it's late enough in the season that they're getting fragile. When they get big, they get really fragile. And some of them got smashed while I was walking around, so they got thrown out. But this is what survived, the fresher of the bunch. This will be my last morel video of the season because it's turkey season, first of all, and it's time to move on to something different. But they're getting so big that they don't taste as good and they're starting to decay and stuff like that. So I think if I would have waited another 2 days, it would have been too late to harvest these. But luckily I got out when I did and I found some really good ones. This one was the one that was very photogenic. Classic morel right there. And over here we have my personal biggest. This is the biggest morel I've ever found. Guys, if you enjoyed that and you want to see more stuff like this, or you like fishing and hunting, which I have a lot more kind of stuff like that, Like and subscribe to the channel, and as always, thanks for watching.